Whether you're in a doomsday tactical scenario or simply patrolling the area around your homestead, the principles of patrolling are relevant and can and should be applied. Unless you're just going out for Instagram pictures, a patrol is not just go out in the woods and walk around looking at stuff. Even a basic property patrol should include some sort of planning. No, it does not have to be a full-blown 5-paragraph operations order. A simple 5 W's, who, what, when, where, why, and a how, which is your concept of operations, will suffice. So, what are the principles and how do we apply them? Planning. Gathering information, setting objectives, and creating a detailed plan of action. This includes identifying potential threats, establishing routes, and allocating resources, logistics. Effective planning ensures that patrols are conducted with a clear purpose and strategy. Every patrol should serve a specific purpose and will often lead to further patrols or missions. Example, you have recently purchased land in a rural area and would like to get to know the area around your property. This could become an area reconnaissance. You want to identify all the trails in and out of your property, roads nearby, or other civil infrastructure in the area, as well as key terrain. This initial reconnaissance will give you a great deal of intelligence, which will lead to follow-on patrols. Next, you may conduct route reconnaissance, where you will learn more about those trails coming from the national forest and into your property. Reconnaissance. Gathering information about the area to be patrolled. It includes identifying key locations, potential hazards, and points of interest. This information allows patrols to make informed decisions and respond effectively to any situation. Back to the first example, before you head out for your area reconnaissance, you can conduct map reconnaissance on Google Maps, Earth, or your own printed topo map and already identify a lot of the key terrain in the area you will patrol. Security. This includes maintaining communication, practicing situational awareness, and being prepared for any security threats. Again, with our property patrol, we develop a communications pace plan with our family or neighbors and can already begin to develop a standard operating procedure, or SOP, for homestead defense and future patrols. I'm going here to do this and should be back by this time. Unless I call you, if I am not back by this time, you should do this. You will also be reconnoitering dead spots for comms while you are out, as well as testing your skills in mission planning and refining your SOP. Control. Maintaining discipline and order during patrols. It involves adhering to the established plan or SOPs, following a chain of command, and ensuring that the patrol's objectives are met. Control is essential for the safety and success of the patrol. On your property patrol or area reconnaissance, go ahead and practice light, sound, and litter discipline. Practice SILs. Stop, look, listen, and smell. Get regular radio checks to rehearse and refine your pace plan. Common sense. When working with groups, we encourage patrol teams to use their own judgment and make decisions based on the situation at hand. Kinda sounds like we should have a firm understanding of how to apply MET-TC, right? While following established SOPs is important, common sense allows for flexibility and adaptability. How are we supposed to update or refine our SOPs if we don't even allow people to test them and adapt to begin with? Let's say your friend joins you on your property patrol. You can boil it all down to the 5 W's and how in about 5 minutes, so that he clearly understands what the point is. Now he knows how to best help you. Even better, he'll take home those lessons for his own patrols. Maybe his patrols will gather intelligence that supports your own understanding of the local area. This can only improve your neighborhood security. Now for the types of patrols. Reconnaissance includes area, zone, and route reconnaissance, point recon, leaders recon, and more. Combat patrols include security, ambush, raid, and presence patrols. Most of those are movements to contact. Don't get too down in the weeds on these, as they have a military-specific context. However, you can apply most of these to even your standard property patrols alone or with your group. You may utilize presence patrols on your property to deter unwanted activity in that area. If your neighbors or any passers-by see you regularly out in that area, That is a presence patrol, and you are deterring them from doing silliness over there. They can all be applied to a Minuteman scenario and even a lone homesteader building on his knowledge of the area around his property. Mission analysis. How do we decide and plan the patrol? We begin with the operations order, or op-ord. Situation, mission, execution, service and support, and command and signal. This is most likely unnecessary for the average community group, but if you don't know where to start, this planning matrix helps you identify and organize all the critical information someone should know for a mission. What's the scenario? Where are we going? How are we doing it? What personnel, toys, and food do we have? Who are we talking to, and how? Just to keep it simple. Believe me, there are a lot of people who can debate op-ords and all the fun variables around a mission for days. Just have a look at the Tactical Doctrine experts on Instagram. However, having key leaders build them every now and then is a great practice. A bare bones, clear and concise op-ord for a mission can be built in less than 15 minutes, and briefed to a team in 5 minutes. As long as everyone knows what the desired end state, or the whole point is, the op-ord is good. Although not a linear process, at some point we will begin utilizing the troop leading procedures. This tool helps us manage our personnel and time more efficiently. Then we look at all the available intelligence that we already have on the area. Intel from your previous patrols, map reconnaissance, A-scope, Google, interviewing people, like simply talking to Billy Bob over at the smoke pit about what he saw last time he did a property patrol. If you want to know more about your local area, and you should, A-scope is the best matrix to keep you on track with pertinent information. You may have come across the Pamisi A-scope crosswalk. Just know that that is sometimes overkill, as it often leads to redundant information. A-scope helps you identify nearly every important fact about your area, the people, and the infrastructure. The warning order, or WARNO, is usually an abbreviated op-ord for smaller units. They might be for individual missions or patrols that support the larger main mission. It also follows the same format as the op-ord. As an example, defend the compound and surrounding area might be your main op-ord that is 20 pages long and is constantly updated. Your WARNO will be the 5 paragraph for each patrol or mission you conduct to support that op-ord. Therefore, many paragraphs such as the situation may not be changed. In fact, the only paragraph that may change will be the mission. In a smaller group, the WARNO will most likely be your planning tool. We cannot discuss mission analysis and planning without MET-TC, Mission Enemy Time Terrain Troops and Civilians, or Civilian Capabilities. OACOC, Observations, Avenues of Approach, Key Terrain, Obstacles, and Cover and Concealment. MET-TC and OACOC are the absolute bread and butter of decision making. Nearly everything you do from planning to execution is filtered through these matrices. Use OACOC for offensive and defensive operations, tactical movements, establishing patrol bases and OPs, providing route security, and nearly every other tactical decision you make. Although patrolling is one major task, it actually includes hundreds of other skill sets and tasks. Which means by conducting just one organized patrol, you are actually training and refining many other skills simultaneously. Camouflage and concealment, land navigation and map reading, communications and comm security, movement techniques and reporting, and a lot more. For now, let's talk about a few other relevant components of a patrol. Patrol bases, OPs, rally points, and traveling. Most references discuss 3 types of movement: traveling, traveling overwatch, and bounding overwatch. Each method serves a specific purpose and is chosen through, you guessed it, MET-TC and OACOC. Traveling is exactly what it sounds like. One person, a team, or multiple teams moving together to either a rally point or objective as one element. Traveling overwatch is when teams or individuals split up into different elements. One element follows the main route while the other provides overwatch, usually for security purposes. Bounding overwatch is typically used when contact with the enemy is expected. Each element maneuvers as quickly as possible while the other provides overwatch. Keep in mind that you might use all three multiple times or just one method during a patrol. It is not a linear process. We always use some sort of formation for our teams when moving. Wedge and file will be the most common. Of course, it's all filtered through MET-TC and OACOC. Shocker. If you understand the principles, this process doesn't need to be rigid or overcomplicated. Your formation depends completely on the terrain and your own judgment. Practicing different formations and explaining why each is used bolsters the control and common sense principles of patrolling. Basically, everyone on your team should know which formation to use without you having to tell them constantly. Danger areas. A danger area is any section of your route where cover and concealment cannot be utilized. Linear danger areas include roads, trails, or short breaks in the forest, such as power lines. A circular danger area is essentially all others, like farms or open fields. This is another topic that could be beat to death in the tactical forums, but it's best to just stick to the basics and implement the principles of security, control, and common sense of patrolling. Here's a few basics to crossing a danger area. Sections before the danger area are also a threat. People tend to sit along roads, camp just off of trails, and humans naturally congregate around open areas or just inside of the forest. Identify danger areas during map and route reconnaissance, and if you discover a new one on the ground, adjust before walking right up to the edge of it. If possible, establish an ORP, objective rally point, and send the smallest unit possible to reconnoiter the danger area, utilizing sills while waiting. Try to cross linear danger areas at the bend or curve to limit how far away a possible enemy will see you cross, and therefore limit your exposure. Try to flank or skirt around circular danger areas. If that is not feasible, send a small scouting element along one of your flanks for security. Issue or remind personnel of link-up SOPs and what to do if contact is made. Establish a far side security. This small element conducts a rapid reconnaissance on the other side and provides security for the main body's crossing. Establish near side security. This element remains until the main body has crossed. Once everyone is crossed, conduct sills to determine if you are detected and get accountability of all personnel and equipment. Before crossing, you should establish a rally point on the other side, so if contact is lost, everyone knows where they are supposed to meet up. If MET-TC and OACOC permit, avoid danger areas completely. If you're the lone homesteader, you'll probably just conduct 30-minute sills, cross, and then do another 30 minutes of sills. Just about every danger area crossing will look almost completely different than previous crossings. Just remember security, control, and common sense. Camouflage is crucial during both movement and when occupying a position. I've often observed teams nonchalantly walking through an AO as if they're going for a Sunday walk, only caring about their camouflage once they reach their destination. Don't ever believe that you own the area and that you only have to be stealthy or camouflaged once you get to an objective. As with everything else, camouflage is not a rigid process. It doesn't have to be debated endlessly. Follow the basic principles, use common sense, and go out and practice, and you will do fine. There are many acronyms, but they all cover the same principles. I was taught color, contrast, shape, shine, and movement, CCSSM. Color and contrast. Most of your uniform should match the area you are operating in. You should not contrast the colors in your area, and your mixed clothing should not contrast one another. The same goes with your equipment. As an example, I often wear faded summer OCP bottoms, which matches the tall grass, and the M81 woodland top, which fits the greenery that's off the ground. Both are very worn and do not contrast one another. Here's a fun fact. You could wear OD green in almost every environment and be just fine. For new clothing, conduct a ghillie wash. Get your clothing soaked and drag it all through your area so it gets nice and worn and takes up the local environment. In sniper school, we swam through a cold-ass lake and low-crawled for hundreds of meters. But you can just do it in your backyard with a swimming pool and some mud in the local terrain. The more worn your clothing is, the better. Shape. The fastest giveaway is our silhouette, from head to shoulders. You can spend a day working on your camo, invest tons of money in a ghillie suit, but if your head and shoulder silhouette is not accounted for, you will easily be spotted. A simple sniper veil or camo net draped over you breaks up your silhouette easily. Just consider that you may have to move quickly and you might lose those items. If you're in the wilderness, avoid sharp objects and points, straight edges and angles, which is why we paint our rifles. Ensure all metal is painted or sharpied and that all lenses are covered. I'm a budget dude, so I use 90-mile-an-hour tape with a quick pull tab on all my lenses. Then I just remove the tape when I'm working and cover it when I'm done. Having a sniper veil draped over everything allows me to see through it, but there's no longer a shine or reflection from the lens. Also consider how you and your equipment look under night vision. A great deal of tactical gear and clothing shines, especially with IR pointed at it. A quick matte spray paint job can help subdue new clothing and equipment that shines. PCCs and PCI should include a nods check as well. Movement is also one of the fastest giveaways. Humans' eyes have developed to easily detect movement even at great distances. If you're scanning a large area, movement is usually the first thing your eye picks up. This is why we must understand Oakoke and know how to use the terrain to our advantage. Coupled with solid land nav skills, knowing the terrain can make you a ghost to anyone looking for you. Camouflage should be considered before, during, and after movement. We also have to keep in mind smell. Cigarettes, campfires, cooking food, all of that stuff travels for a long way. Even flavored dip can be smelled a kilometer away by somebody with a good nose. In static positions, we continually improve our camouflage if the situation allows it. Just remember, all the work you are doing in your patrol base or OP is movement and sound, which may render your efforts useless. Remember the principle of control? As always, utilize MET-TC to make those calls. A good way to train on these principles is to have one group trying to spot another and then switch. If you know what to look for, that aids in your ability to hide and mitigate detection. Do not think about camouflage simply from the aspect of where you think the enemy is. You must consider all directions and avenues of approach, including from the air. Rally points, patrol bases, observation posts, or OPs. Whenever we are headed to a destination, we should place stops along the route. This is a rally point. These stops allow personnel to rest, adjust equipment, we conduct SILs for security, we drink water, we enforce personnel and equipment accountability, and we might make a comms check with HQ or our other element. If we're in vehicles, this could also be when we slow down to allow others to catch up. Sometimes we make major turns for our vehicles, a checkpoint, so everyone knows exactly where we are and where to go if something happens with the convoy. If the rally point has already been designated and briefed beforehand, the leader can simply call out, "Hey, turning south at checkpoint 1, new rally point." Now everyone knows where to meet if there's a break in contact or emergency. These points can be predetermined during mission analysis or called out on the ground. However, leaders should create at least a few rally points between major objectives. It sucks to lose a friendly element and not realize it until hours later. Now you get to find each other in the dark. Great. You may have heard the term Objective Rally Point, or ORP. This is simply the last rally point before the objective, where leaders accomplish many tasks. We confirm that we are in the right spot. The mission is a go. We review emergency plans with the team, and we may send out a smaller element to conduct a leader's recon for the next phase of our mission. The ORP involves a lot of critical tasks, mostly concerning security and preparing for upcoming missions. As an example, your ORP might conclude at dawn when you have everyone dismount their nods instead of keeping them on their heads for no reason. Yep, I see you, Instagram. Then we have the patrol base, your home away from home. Patrol bases are used to plan and support follow-on missions or patrols. You may have an area reconnaissance where you have to hike in for 2 days. You may be conducting reconnaissance at night, but need to halt during the day for rest. We do not just set up camps and go to sleep. There must be an organized procedure for how we maintain security while allowing the unit to rest and prepare for the next mission. By doctrine, patrol bases should not be occupied for more than 24 hours, and depending on your situation, you may want to reduce that to 12 hours. The longer dudes sit in one position, the more complacent they become. The more likely they will generate trash and waste to leave behind. This is also why we do not use the same area for a patrol base twice. You should adjust as necessary, but the priorities of work in a patrol base are continuous security, withdrawal plan creation and dissemination, communication, follow-on mission preparation and planning, weapons and equipment maintenance, water resupply, mess plan, and rest. Notice how eating and sleeping are dead last. At night, your security may be 50% to get the maximum amount of rest, while during the day it may be 75%. As usual, we use METTC and OACOKE to determine our patrol base location, its activities, as well as the time spent occupying it. The observation post, often misused during the global war on terror, is not just a position where two dudes go and sit out and watch an area. The OP supports a larger element and is meticulously planned. Typically, we place OPs connected with patrol bases to enhance their security. Guess what? Site selection is heavily METTC and OACOKE dependent. Shocker. But a few key factors are that the OP is within range of your weapon capabilities and the capabilities of your personnel, so you can support them. The OP serves as early enemy detection for the patrol base, and can quickly be occupied and broken down. Also consider how far personnel must travel to replace members of the OP. You don't want two guys traversing horrible terrain for hours just because you really want an OP up on that other hilltop. This means you have to consider routes to and from the OP so members don't get lost or compromised. We should limit the time they spend in there. That means we have to rotate members in and out. Now, this wouldn't be a relevant video if we didn't quickly discuss the military doctrine that does not apply to our world. While you may have to improve your position slightly, you should not be sawing, chopping, and rearranging the forest for a temporary position for many reasons. Number 1, you have neither the manpower nor the time. Number 2, you're creating a ton of extra noise and movement which will eventually be heard or seen. And unlike the military, you do not have a platoon on QRF or gunships to come in and save you when your bushcrafting has gotten you compromised and overrun. You're on your own. Number 3, if we are out in possibly contested areas, we must practice a strict leave no trace mentality. I've never seen a group of grunts be able to break down an OP where they have cleared half the forest, but they're able to return that site to what looks like even close to normal. Now, anybody who comes through that area definitely knows somebody has been there, and because there are clear signs they tried to cover their tracks, now they know your level of experience. If you find yourself in a possible patrol base or OP location where bushcrafting is required to improve the area, you have made a lot of bad decisions up to that point. You can A. Create an ORP and develop a new plan and find a new site for the patrol base, or B. In a training environment, learn the lesson that you need to work on your understanding of OACOKE, your map recon, and overall planning skills. While the military is afforded the forgiveness of massive errors in mission analysis and planning, you are not. You do not have the resources, the manpower, or the equipment to go save every patrol that could have just spent an extra 15 minutes developing a better plan. In addition, just like all these principles we have discussed, no SOP or plan should be treated as gospel. It sucks. You may have spent 8 hours planning every variable and deciding the perfect patrol base location, only to find out on the ground that it is a horrible spot. You must be mature, wise, and flexible enough to recognize your error and plan a new patrol base location. You'll get picked on, but you'll keep your unit alive. A clear and well-written small unit op board should take you no more than 15 minutes to create and no more than 5 minutes to brief. Always be sure to get a back brief from your members to ensure they understand the mission, and do not skip out on PCCs and PCIs. Conduct your PCCs and PCIs at least 30 minutes prior to movement, which allows teammates time to actually correct their deficiencies. Utilize your planning matrices and acronyms to help you plan and organize your information. And if you forget everything else, just remember the principles of patrolling: planning, reconnaissance, security, control, and common sense. Always remember KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.